I'm Melin, and we're here today for the Gentle Somatic Yoga class. And this is just a really nice exploratory sort of a practice, which is a little bit different from a traditional yoga practice. And so we'll just start today, I think, with the legs up the wall. So if you want to get as close to the wall as you can with your hips, and then you'll have your legs extended up the wall. And if you need to prop your hips up a little bit with a blanket, that will be fine too. Okay, so we have the legs up the wall here, and I want to just encourage you to become present here in the room. So a lot of times we bring a lot of other stuff here with us, and it can take a few minutes to settle into this moment and into what's happening with your body right now. And one of the things that's really great about the somatics is that it's a lot about becoming really present in the body and just noticing what's occurring there. So oftentimes, if you start checking in, you might feel differences in energetic qualities from side to side. So feeling into how do your legs feel up there against the wall. Even though your legs are roughly equal in length, sometimes you might have a sense of one feeling shorter than the other. Or you might have a sense of them feeling really equal. And similarly with the arms and the body as a whole. And another thing I often like to think about, so depending on who you ask and when you ask, whatever, in general, people will say that we're between 60 and 80% water-based. And I think we tend to be really identified with the solidity of our structure, but I like to come back into that fluid sense of what makes up this body, and that there's, every time you're moving, it's because of that fluid nature is allowing you to move, and the structure just provides support for that. So really sensing into that fluid aspect here as you're lying here. And then you can go ahead and bring your feet together so the soles of the feet are touching, and allow the legs to slide down the wall, and for the knees to just open to a degree that's comfortable. So you don't need to push or force anything here. And let the belly expand with the breath. So this is a really good place and position to allow for the belly to open. We tend to hold a lot of tension there. And then you might start just doing very, very small micro movements, pelvic tilts. So you'll start out by aiming the tailbone towards the floor as you lift the small of the back very gently away. It's just a small movement. And then you're going to press the small of the back down to the floor and bring your pelvis up towards you just a bit. Okay, and so then just rocking back and forth subtly, so the tailbone reaching down towards the floor and feeling the low back come up away from the floor there a bit. So you feel that sense of spaciousness there, and then really pressing down into that space. Good. And so do a few rounds there at a pace that's comfortable for you. Good. And then as you finish this next round, you can go ahead and relax and take a couple breaths. And then I'll have you go ahead and bring your knees together first. And then we'll come to laying on your right side. So you'll turn onto your right side. Okay, and you might need to bring your knees up a bit. And then I'm going to have you actually take your left arm open and have your arms open in a T position. Okay, and you're going to try to aim that left shoulder towards the floor. And then you can actually play around with it a bit. So as your knees are touching the floor, or your right knee is touching the floor, your left shoulder will probably be lifted up away a little bit. And you can kind of play around in this space. So you can try to bring your left shoulder down, letting your knees come up a bit. And then you can bring the knees down and let the shoulder come up. And you can work back and forth between those two. It's a bit of a gentle rocking motion. Good. Good. Okay. So then go ahead and just come into a kind of neutral position between those two, or wherever feels comfortable for your body. And if it's too much with that left arm extended, you can bring it and place it on the left side there on the left hip. Okay. And then you're going to go ahead and you're going to actually shift that left hip forward and back. So it's really, again, just a small movement there, bringing the left hip forward. The knees will slide along each other, and then bringing the left hip back. Okay. And just shifting back and forth and letting the arm go along for the ride however feels appropriate for you. Okay, and then so the next time you come to kind of a midway neutral position, I'm going to actually have you bring your knees up towards you a little bit closer. Okay, and I'm going to have you lift your left knee up away from the right. Okay, and then taking your right hand to the outside of the left knee, and you're just going to apply a little bit of pressure here. So not a ton of pressure. It's just enough to get a sense of connection here and a little bit of resistance so that your left knee is pushing into your right hand. Okay, and then you're going to slowly bring the left knee down to meet the right, keeping just a little bit of pressure there on that left knee with the right hand. Okay, so it's a slow movement. And just providing a little bit more feedback to the brain there with that pressure of the right hand. And then when the knees come to touch, you want to make sure that you really let go and relax. Okay, and so then you can do that again. So bringing the left knee up, applying a bit of pressure with the right hand. And so you can probably feel, so for me, I feel this engaging through my glutes and through my IT band here, so I get more of that sense of where I'm activating with this as I have just that little bit of pressure. And then make sure when the knees come to touch that you allow that moment for a pause in between. Okay, and we'll do one more round there.
So bringing the knee up, right hand to the outside of the left knee. And slowly bringing that knee back down. And you might notice places where there's a little bit of a jerking sensation through this. That's really normal. And that's where we have what is called in this somatics work is sensory motor amnesia. And it can sometimes be good to play around a little bit in that space and try to smooth out those jerking, chattering kind of sensations that you get. Okay, and once you're there, you can totally relax. And I'm going to have you come all the way onto that right side now. So you can support your head on your arm, or if you have a little pillow, that's fine. And you want to get your legs set up here at a 90-degree angle. So you've got your knees coming straight out from your hips and your feet straight down from your knees. Okay, and you can let the left arm be long on the side body. And then we're going to work the left arm here. So you can start out, you're going to tuck the left shoulder blade back, trying to bring the shoulder blade to touch the spine almost. And you might even rotate the hand open, so you get that sense of opening through the shoulder. Yeah. Good. And then release that back and relax. Good. And so again, tucking the left shoulder blade back. And then releasing. So this is really engaging through the rhomboid muscles here that connect the spine to the scapula. And so once again, having that intention there of activating just those muscles if possible. There'll be a few others involved, of course, but the action is there. And then releasing. Okay, and so now we're going to go forward, engaging the pectoralis muscles. So through here, and you want to think about bringing the left shoulder forward. Okay, and so this will open up through the rhomboids, right? So you're getting more of a stretch through the back there now. And then release. And again, rolling the left shoulder forward. And releasing. And then one more time. Good. Release it back. And pause and relax here. And then bringing the shoulder up towards the ear. Good. So getting into the trapezius muscles here in the shoulder and release that back. Soften. Make sure to really let go, especially through the shoulders. I think we often carry so much tension there, so being cognizant of that letting go after you contract. Okay, so again, bringing the shoulder up towards the ear, and then releasing it. Pause. And again, shoulder up towards the ear, and release it down. And then this last one, we're going to extend the arm down. So bringing it down along the side body. Good. So now you can probably feel a stretch through the traps. You're engaging more in the lower side body and in the lats a little bit. And then release. And again, lengthening down. And release. And one more time like that. Long arm there, and release it back. Good. Okay, so you might just feel into that left arm, get a sense for how it's feeling right now. Notice any sensations, tingling perhaps, pulsing, whatever might be there. And then we're going to go ahead and integrate all of those movements. So we'll start by tucking the shoulder blade back, and then bringing the shoulder up towards the ear, and then forward. Good. And then down. And then back again. Right, so you want to try to make a nice fluid circle here. Nice and slow. And you can integrate the arm as you like, so you can even turn the palm and the wrist along with these movements of the shoulder in a way that feels natural and organic and interesting. And this is a movement again where you might have some areas that feel really nice and smooth in their quality. And then you might have other areas where you suddenly get a sense of jerking through it. And those are those areas of that sensory motor amnesia. So where you feel those jerking motions, and that's where if you slow down even more and pay attention, you can sometimes smooth that out. And sometimes not. And that's okay too, we just have more awareness about it. So let's go ahead and switch directions of the rotation now. So really opening up through the shoulder. I had one woman once who had been struggling with some frozen shoulder, and we did this. We'd done a couple other things, and by the time she got about halfway through, she goes, wow, this is like a little miracle. So, because she just had gained so much more sense of movement in that shoulder. Just in 10 minutes, so pretty cool. Okay. So when you finish this next rotation, you can go ahead and release, relax the arm. I'm feeling into that left arm now and seeing if it feels any different from the last time you checked in. And then you can go ahead and turn onto your back. Laying here on your back, notice if you have any differences in sensation here, especially between the right and the left arms. So we just did a whole lot with the left arm and the left side body. Okay, and so then we'll come and turn onto the left side. Out of the way. Okay, so starting out like we did before, you'll have that left arm extended, and then you can go ahead and open the right arm up into a T position. Okay, so you've got that right arm extended behind you. Good. All right, so feel where you are here, you know, where your right shoulder is in space and how close it feels like it is to the floor or how far away it feels. Okay. And then you can just play around by trying to bring the right shoulder down, and your knees might lift a bit more. And then bringing the knees down and letting the shoulder lift up and away a bit more. And just, it's a small movement, but you're just letting yourself rock back and forth between those two extremes of knees down to the floor and then aiming the shoulder down and allowing the knees to come up. And just feeling how that changes the sensation. So for me, especially on this side, I have a lot of sensation through my pecs and opening through the right part of my chest. But you may also have a sense in the hips, right? Or in the low back. So just depending on your particular anatomy and history of life in your body, it could feel different. Then once you're at a nice neutral position here, you can go ahead and let yourself come to feel relaxed. And if you need to bring your right arm to the right hip, that's fine. If it's comfortable to have it open, that's fine too. And you're gonna go ahead and shift that right hip forward and back. So again, these are just small, maybe an inch forward, maybe not even, maybe just a few centimeters. Moving that hip forward and back. And then relaxing back into a more just neutral, relaxed, no holding, paused position. And then I'll have you bring your knees up a little bit closer to your chest here. And bring the right knee up away from the left. And you'll take the left hand and apply just a little bit of pressure to the outside of the right knee. So left hand to the right knee. And so again, this isn't a lot of pressure there. It's just enough to feel connected with yourself and a little bit more engagement there through the outside of the right leg. Okay, and then slowly bringing the right knee down to touch the left eventually, but it's nice and slow. And once you've completed that movement, make sure there's a real letting go that you let happen. I'll even let my arm drop away as a sign to the rest of my body. Okay, relax. Okay, and so then bring the right knee up, left hand to the outside of the right knee, and slowly bringing that right knee down. And if it ever feels like too much, you can control how much pressure is there, right? So you can back off of that. And then completely letting go once the knees come to touch. Okay, and one more time. Left hand to the outside of the right knee, and slowly releasing. Good, and let it go. Good. All right, so now let's come all the way onto the left side. Okay, so this time you want to adjust your legs a little bit so the knees are coming there straight out from the hips. And the feet straight down from the knees, and you'll have your right arm along the body there. Good. All right, and so we start out again by tucking that right shoulder back. So bringing the shoulder blade towards the spine, opening up through the chest and the shoulder, and then releasing back and relax. And again, tucking the right shoulder back, and release. And one more time. And release. Good. Okay, so now bringing the right shoulder forward. Good. And release it back to neutral, taking that pause in between. And then again, right shoulder forward. and release. And right shoulder forward. And release it back. Good. Relaxing. And then bringing the shoulder up to the ear. And releasing down and really making sure you let go of everything that got engaged there. And then shoulder up to the ear. And release it down. And once again, right shoulder up. And release. Okay, and so the next part, bringing the arm to extend down along the right side body there. Good. And release it back. And again, extending that right arm down and back. And one more time. And release it. Good. Okay, so now again integrating all of that here on the right side. So bringing the right shoulder blade back. And then the shoulder up towards the ear. And then bringing the shoulder forward and down. And then again back. So creating nice, smooth, slow circles here. And you can play around with it a little bit if you'd like. If there's a spot that you find where you feel like, oh, I really want to hang out and just move in micro movements through this one spot, feel free. Sometimes there's one area where we just kind of need to give a little bit more attention. And that's one of the things that's so nice about this practice, is that there's that freedom in it to really explore what your body is asking of you right now. And then let's go ahead and switch directions of that rotation. And the slower you go, the more you're going to find the spots that actually require more attention. I think we often push by, around, and through those areas where we have that sensory motor amnesia because we're not connected to it, so we just bypass it. But when you're going slowly through something like this, you can find that and go, ah, okay, how can I kind of create more of a connection through this area in my body and perhaps free up some movement, right? And coming back to that more fluid sense in our body rather than just being trapped by where we're chronically contracted. And whenever you finish this next rotation, you can go ahead and relax. Let the arm be nice and long on the side there. Come onto your back again, taking note of any differences that are there now compared to before. Okay, so now I'll have you go ahead and bend your legs up so your feet are flat on the floor. And you want them just at a comfortable distance away from your hips. Don't have to be super close, but you don't want them too far away either. And you can go ahead and interlace the hands behind the head, okay? So you want to feel the head dropping into the hands, and you can let the elbows be open against the floor here. Okay, and so just like we did when you had your feet together up the wall and the knees open, you're going to come back to that idea of bringing the tip of the tailbone down to touch the floor, and you'll feel that space coming up with the low back coming up away from the floor. And as you're bringing that tip of the tailbone down to the floor, you also want to press that back of the head into the hands. So you're enhancing that natural curvature of the low back and of the neck, right? Okay. And then you're going to go ahead and press the low back into the floor, rock the pelvis up towards you, bring the head up off the floor, so bringing the chin to the chest a bit and bringing the elbows towards each other. So you're doing just a mini sit-up there. Okay, and slowly coming back down. So you're letting the elbows open as you bring the shoulders back down, and you're also rocking slowly through the pelvis. And as your elbows come back down to the floor, you're bringing that tip of the tailbone into the floor again and pressing the back of the head into the hand. We're bringing the hips up a little bit, bringing the chin towards the chest, the head up off the floor, and the elbows come towards each other. Okay, and so going back and forth here, a couple of rounds at a pace that feels good to you, but you do want it to be slow. You don't want to rush through this. Okay, and so after you complete your last round, so there's no rush to completion here, just when you naturally get to finishing this next round that you're in, you can go ahead and relax. And again, we'll just take a moment to pause and reflect and check in, so you can extend the legs if that's comfortable for you, or if you prefer to just separate the feet and allow the knees to drop together, you can do that as well. You just want a comfortable position that allows you to sense into the feeling tone in your body at this point in class, and you might even reflect back onto how you felt at the beginning of class when you did that first. And then we'll go ahead and we're going to turn over onto the belly. So hopefully this won't be too rough on the microphone. Okay, so what you want to have is your right arm bent and up at your head there. And so your right palm is down on the floor, and you're turning your head to the right so that your left cheek is going to be sitting on top of your left cheek on the right hand. And the left arm is extended long down the side of the body with the palm facing up. Okay, so just let yourself relax here. Let your legs be relaxed so that the heels drop open, the toes are towards each other a little bit. Okay, and you'll start out by simply bringing the right elbow up. Okay. And then release it down. So when you release it down, let go, and you might notice how much of your body got engaged to just do that one thing. So I noticed that my glutes were engaged, my legs were engaged, all to just bring up my right elbow. So you might try to just bring your right elbow up again and see how much you can just isolate that movement. Some other parts of the body will need to engage, but you might be able to decrease how much of that compared to the last time. And when you relax, make sure you consciously relax everything that did get engaged to make that happen. Okay, one more time. And letting go. Okay, and so now you're going to bring the elbow, the hand, and the head all up off the floor together, keeping that hand connected to the cheek there. Good. And you also want to try to keep the left shoulder down. So it's almost like a spiraling motion up to the right. Okay. And then you're going to bring the right elbow down first, and then bring the head and the hand down together. And relax. Okay, so again, bringing the elbow, the head, and the hand up, and then bring the right elbow down, and slowly bringing the head and the hand down. And relax. And once again, bringing up the elbow, the head, and the hand, and trying to keep that left elbow, shoulder down, and then bring the right elbow down, and bring the head and the hand down. Okay, and so this time you're going to lift up one more time, and then you're going to bring the left leg up. Okay, and then you can try to bring everything down together in one nice kind of fluid movement as much as possible. And relaxing. And then if you'd like, you can bring the elbow, the head, the hand, and the leg all up together. And slowly release down. Totally relax. And one more time, lifting up the head, the hand, the arm, the leg. And if you'd like, you can even bend that left leg, engaging more into the hamstring. Good. And slowly releasing. Okay, and so we'll take a nice pause here between sides. So if you're comfortable there and you want to just extend the right arm down along your side and have your head turned, that's fine. If you want to support your head and place your hands underneath your forehead, you can do that as well. Just try to find a position that's comfortable on your neck there. And we'll switch the sides up. So you're going to have your left arm bent this time, and your right arm along the body. Okay. And you can go ahead and bring the left elbow up. And then as you let it go, feel where else you need to let go to be relaxed completely. Okay. And again, bringing just that left elbow up. And relax it down. And once again, left elbow up. And releasing down. Okay, and then this time you're going to bring that elbow up, and you're also going to bring the head and the hand up. And you'll notice your right shoulder will probably want to come up a bit, so aim it back down towards the floor and think about spiraling up a little bit with the left elbow. And then you're going to bring the left elbow to touch down. And then slowly bring the head and the hand to touch down. And release. Good. So again, lifting the elbow, the hand, the head. And then bringing the left elbow to touch down first, and then bringing the head and the hand down. And once again, left elbow comes up, head and the hand up. And then the elbow touches down, head and the hand come down. All right, so this time you're going to bring the elbow, the head, the hand up first. So trying to keep contact there with the right shoulder down, and then bring the right leg up. Okay, and then all together, bringing everything down nice and smooth. And relaxed completely. And then if you'd like, all together in one motion, bringing up the head, the hand, the arm, the leg. And slowly bringing everything down. And one more time, bringing everything up. And this time, if you'd like, you can also bend that right knee. And then slowly release. And relax. And so again, just finding a position here where you can feel supported and relaxed and comfortable. And take a few breaths here. And then when you're ready, you can press up onto your hands and knees. Okay. So we'll start out here. You want to have your knees pretty much right under the hips and the hands right under the shoulders. You can spread the fingers nice and wide there. Feel yourself really rooted into the earth there. And then we'll just do a series of cat-cow here. So you're just going to start out by dropping the belly down. You'll lift the hips up, and then you're just going to lift the head and the chin to look up. Right? So this is very similar to what we were just doing on the floor a little while ago. And then you're going to tuck the chin to the chest, bring the belly button towards the spine, and round your way up. Right? And so going back and forth. Dropping the belly down, lift the hips, lift the head, lift the chin. Good. And then tucking the chin towards the chest and rounding in. Okay, and so you want to continue on with this movement, but you can start to make it a little bit more exploratory, right? So a lot of times we're just going back and forth here through the spine, which is great, but now you can start to add in some circling around that if you want, so that you might be almost barrel rolling through the torso as you do that. And so you can bring the hips to the side a bit as you're dropping down and lifting the chin and the chest up, and kind of rolling through your whole body in a more organic way here, and just exploring what that feels like. So it can feel really good. So for me, I love this. When I get into this position, I feel like an opening through my rib cage. Okay, and if you've been going in kind of a single direction. You might switch that direction at this point. And then coming back again to a flat back, neutral position. And then just bringing your hips back towards your heels. If you want to separate your knees a bit, that's fine. And coming down into child's pose here. And again, you can support your head however feels good for you. So you can stack your fists, you can place your head on your hands, or if you like having your arms long, that's fine too. And let your hips, as much as possible, drop and relax down towards those heels. And take some deep breaths into the belly. Whenever you feel ready, you can press your way up to a sitting position. And if you'd like to bolster yourself, that's fine. And if you're just comfortable sitting, that's fine too. Okay, so we're going to explore through the neck a little bit here. So first we'll start out, you can just drop the chin down towards the chest, okay? And feel that lengthening through the back of the neck. And then you can go ahead and bring your right ear over towards your right shoulder. So you just feel a lengthening through the left side of the neck. And then bringing the chin back down to the chest. And bringing the left ear towards the left shoulder. And trying to bring the right shoulder down in a way so it might want to hitch up a bit as you bring the left ear down. Trying to keep that right shoulder relaxed. And then bringing the chin down to the chest again. And then bringing the head over to the right. Okay, and you might go back and forth a couple times here. And just like we were doing with the cat-cow, you can integrate more of your body, right? So as you're bringing the chin forward, you can also think about bringing the shoulders forward and bringing the belly back towards the spine and rounding through the back. And then as you bring the left ear down towards the left shoulder, you might come up and open through the chest. So this can be very exploratory. And it can be as big or as small as feels good for you today. And the next time you find yourself with your right ear towards your right shoulder, just bring your spine back up to a nice long position. So as straight a spine as possible with the right ear towards the right shoulder. And you can just begin to nod your head forward and back a bit, right? So you're gonna feel probably a bunch of different sensations through the side of the neck here as you just bring the head simply forward and back. And then you can also go ahead and bring the left arm up. So the arm's out, extended at your side. And as you're nodding the head forward and back, you can also integrate a rotation of the left arm. So it doesn't matter which way you're doing it. So the palm can be coming up when the head's going back, and it can be rotating down as the head's going forward, or vice versa. Doesn't really matter, and you might play with both. And so for me, there's just a ton of sensation that I get through my shoulder and all the way down through my arm and my wrist when I do this. And then releasing the left arm down. And bringing the chin back to the chest and relax here. And then bringing the left ear to the left shoulder. Okay, and trying to relax the right shoulder down as much as you can. And then starting to nod the head forward and back. And then bring the right arm up to the side, so extend it out to the side. And integrating rotations of the arm with the nodding of the head. All right, so as you feel ready, you can go ahead and release the right arm down. Bring the chin back to the chest first, and then let the head come back up to a neutral position there. And let's just sit for a moment. So we'll do a little sitting reflection, just like we've done a couple times through class, laying down. Can be a good opportunity to check in and just really feel into the sensations that are coming up in the body right now. So any places of pulsing or tingling, vibration, whatever it might be that you can feel. So then I'll have you just go ahead and bring your left hand down to the floor by your side. And you can bring your right arm up and over. And you can even feel free to come down onto the left forearm if you like. You're just going to reach and extend over with the right arm. Okay. And then come on back up. And then we're going to go into it again, and you can explore at different angles, right? So if you want to come forward, so you get all different little spots through the ribs and the hips. And then if you want to come back the next time, and wherever, so you can just play around with all the different angles in between here. And it's fine, you can do it with legs extended if you want, yeah. Okay. And then
bringing the right arm back down and relax. Take a couple of breaths right here. And then bringing the right hand to the side and bringing the left arm up and over. And again, just exploring with all those different angles that you can find. And then releasing back down. All right. So I'll have you come again onto your side one last time here. So like we were in the beginning, you're going to have your knees together, your legs at a right angle there, and your arms open in a T position. And really trying to extend that right arm back. You can even let the head turn a little bit to look towards the right arm. And then you're going to bring your right arm up and over, so arcing up and over you towards the side. And as you do that, you're going to reach the right leg back, extending the right leg and reaching back and stretching through the right arm. So bringing the right arm forward as you extend the right leg back. So you're like this, yeah, lengthening through the front of the right side. And then bringing the right arm back as you bring the right knee up towards the chest. So you're coming back into a twist now with the right knee up a bit higher. And again, extending the right leg back. Right arm comes up and over. And this is another one where you can kind of play with the angle of the arm and the leg. And as bringing the knee up, as you bring the right arm up and over to the back. And one more time. And bringing the right knee up, right arm back. And then release and come onto your back. Then you can go ahead and turn onto the right side. Okay, so you'll start again. So open the arms up into that T position with your legs at that 90-degree angle. So you start out kind of set up and then you just explore from there. So bringing the left arm up and over as you extend the left leg back. Good. And then bringing the left knee up towards the chest as you bring the left arm up and over and behind you. So it's almost like wringing out the body here at the end. Bringing the left arm up and over, left leg back. And again, you can explore with the angle there and bringing the left knee up and the left arm back. And one more time.
And coming back, knee up, arm open. And then go ahead and turn onto your back again. And from here, you can bring your knees up to your chest to kind of release through the low back a little bit. And then I'm actually going to have you, however you can, and as tight as you can, to bring yourself into the smallest little ball of energy that you can find. So bringing your head up to your knees and really trying to tuck into this tight little ball where you're squeezing and engaging every single muscle in your body, okay? So you're really activating everything there. And then doing the complete opposite and releasing everything and extending everything out in as expansive a way as possible, as relaxed a way as possible. Okay. And then moving your way into the final Savasana here. And so you can find your way into a position that is comfortable for you, where you're supported how you need to be. And if you need any props or eye pillows or anything like that, you can let me know. Take a couple minutes here. And it's always nice to go back to that check-in that you did at the very beginning of class and to take note of any differences. And those differences could be physical, they could be mental, they could be emotional, or there might not be a whole lot of change at all, but usually there's some change that you can notice. And I want to really encourage you to come back to that fluid sense of the body and let your muscles and your organs and everything have a sensation of just being draped over the bones. And then everything's being supported and held up by this earth here, right? So you don't really need to do any work right now. And let the breath be just natural and relaxed. And feeling how the belly expands naturally with the inhale when you just let the breath come in as it's supposed to. And feeling the belly drop and relax with your exhales. And then with the next inhale here, you can start to bring a little bit of movement back into the fingers and the toes. as you feel ready, you can turn yourself onto one side. And then make sure you support yourself as you press back up to sitting. And so we'll just take a couple breaths here together. So you can bring the hands to the heart, palms together. And take a deep inhale. So really see if you can fill the belly. And draw the breath in nice and deep. And then exhale all the way out. And again, inhale. And exhale. And I want to thank you for your participation here today, and thank you to Sherry, and namaste.